What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon, late afternoon now. Hope you guys are doing well. And we have ourselves a practice report for the Seahawks. And also, we got some updates from the Rams. They don't have their official practice report out quite yet, but they've said enough to where we can pretty easily put this together. But going to start with the Seahawks side of things. We got Corbin Smith here talking about who is in and who is out. Keep in mind, this is Wednesday. Keep in mind that we're not really going to find out who's in danger until tomorrow. But as of this moment, what we have is a collection of 4 Seahawks players who are out. And one of them is just a rest day, so we don't really have to worry about too much there. But we do have some very notable players in the did not participate list still. By the way, sorry about the frame rate still being so weak. I don't know what's going on right now, but for whatever reason, my frame rate has completely dropped off whenever I activate the green screen effect on these videos since yesterday. But anyway, on to more important things. DK Metcalf is still out, which isn't really surprising. McDonald did say he remains optimistic that Metcalf will be able to practice tomorrow and play this weekend, but it's certainly not a sure thing yet, and I'll tell you, I don't know how we get good results from this game if DK Metcalf isn't out there, because we saw what the offense looks like without him, and it's not encouraging. So, yeah, did not participate. We need him to participate in the next 2 days, or else it's time to really be concerned. We also have Shenault with a knee injury of his own, did not participate. Very seriously doubt that's going to keep him out of this game, because I didn't notice anything of significance coming out of that game against the Bills with him. But at the same time, it is notable that he barely played in that Bills game despite the fact that Metcalf was out, which is a little bit surprising to me and maybe indicative of him not being all the way there physically. Witherspoon also out with a foot injury. And again, it's Wednesday. I'm not going to act like this is a big deal yet, but this is definitely something to monitor. Maybe this explains why his play has been so poor lately. An injury would be one of the few things that I would look at and go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That justifies what's going on with him compared to what we got from him last year. But it might just easily be a very, very minor thing, and they gave him a glorified day of rest. So that's it for the DNP list. Like I said, Leonard Williams is just rest. There's not really much to say there. Limited participation today. And we're going to lead off with George Fant here, because McDonald actually had some comments on Fant outside of just this practice report. He basically said that George Fant has a good chance of being able to play this weekend. He said that it is the hope that they're able to get him enough work over the next couple days to where he can actually play against the Rams. And while I appreciate what Mike Gerald's doing, while I appreciate the fact that he's going out there and providing probably better than expected play for a 4th string right tackle, I do feel like George Fant would be a significant upgrade, and I want him to get out there. Probably not looking at activating Abe Lucas yet, but he remains limited in his participation, so we're getting there. Tyler Lockett limited. Get used to that, I think. You'll see that a lot this year. Doesn't really mean anything. Draymond Jones limited. And we know why, because he got into a little bit of a spat on Twitter about his effort on one play, and he explained it by saying my arm had just popped out of what is it, the AC joint, and yeah, he's clearly had enough of how much he gets dogged by this fan base, and I get some of it, I don't get some of it. There are other parts of it that I don't get. I mean, but yeah, it's. It's certainly something that's going to make you look bad on the field if your arm just popped out of your AC joint and you just put it back in and you're going right back out there in pain. I can kind of understand, but he should be fine to go. McDonald already commented on this and said he thinks he'll be able to play. Again, I want to remind everybody that McDonald is extremely vague on most injury stuff, so we can only go based on his words, and his words may not end up panning out by the time you get to game day, and it might be by design that it doesn't pan out. Pritchett limited, so he's making good progress, should be back if we need him for Sunday at the very least. Cam Young limited. It doesn't really matter if he's active or not because he's not going to play unless a bunch of people get hurt. But at the very least, he's able to practice on a limited basis, so that means he's probably fine. Noah Fant limited, same deal there. Just now it's a groin injury, though. It is notable that it's not the same injury that it was before, but again, hard to believe that it's going to really affect his availability. And finally, we have Laken Tomlinson, but not injury related there. That's just rest. Nothing really to say there. And full participation, you've got Mike Jarrell, shoulder injury. So he did actually get hurt. He did actually get hurt, and the thing that I talked about did end up coming to pass. It just looks like it's very minor. Mafe, full participation, which is a relief to see after he randomly popped up on the injury report on Friday last week and then did not play effectively on Sunday. Good to see that he is basically as close to 100% as you're going to get. And then Trey Brown, full, which is important because he was active but did not play against the Bills. If he's a full participant today, though, he'll almost certainly play. And then Reek Woolen. So those guys should all be good. And we're just kind of on pins and needles for the Metcalf news. And as much as Witherspoon is not playing well so far this year, I think we'd still rather have him than not have him. So definitely going to be monitoring this the next couple days. Okay, so that is the Seahawks side of things. Let's go to the Rams side of things. I just found a couple of tweets because, again, they didn't put out an actual, formatted properly practice report. But what Sean McVay said earlier today, according to this Stu Jackson guy, Rams beat reporter, he doesn't think that John Johnson III, Steve Avila, or Jonah Jackson are going to be coming off IR this week. So we don't have to worry about playing them. So that's 2 starters on that offensive line and a starting safety. This is still a very injured team. I know they got some players back, but these guys being out should still be a big deal. And that's why I'm not going to be... If we lose this game against the Rams, I'm not going to come on here and say, oh, well, the Rams are healthy now, so they're really good. They're not healthy yet. They're more healthy than they were, but you would not call this healthy. And as for stuff to do with the team that isn't on IR, Sean McVay offered these updates. Joe Noteboom, full participant today. So that would indicate that he's fine. That would indicate that he's more than ready to play. Cam Curl, the safety, and Jordan Whittington, the receiver, who has this incredibly high rate of getting open for some reason, kind of amusing for a guy who clearly isn't that special. They're both limited, so they should be ready to play. They may not be 100%, but they should be at the very least ready to go. And Neville Gallimore, a nose tackle, I think just part of their frontline rotation, probably not going to play if you take McVay at his word. He said his status for Seahawks game will be in doubt and he will not practice today. I didn't see anything beyond this, though. So if there are other injury reports from the Rams, I didn't see it. They didn't talk about it. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. That's what we're looking at in terms of these Rams. Still a little beat up. Definitely better than before. But they're missing key pieces, just like any other team that's out there. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Probably not another video later, but if there is, then there is. I'll see you guys on Twitch tonight. We're going to continue with the Silent Hill 2 remake. And, yeah, more videos tomorrow.